Hello, folks. Welcome to the New Paranormal. I'm your host, Professor Joseph Dent. And on this channel, we explore all the signs and indications that this world is becoming, more and more accepting of what once was considered the paranormal. And I think we may be heading towards a day when it becomes our new normal. Either way, we're going to take a look at how society is affected by beliefs in paranormal activity. I'm glad you're here for this adventure. I think it's going to be fun. Today's episode is all about my trip to the Amazon jungle. In the darkest corners of the Amazon jungle, I once saw laughter exploding in colors. I watched sounds turning into colors, and I met a green goddess, the spirit of the jungle itself. And she told me that she had been expecting me. This is the story of how a shaman saved my life in the Amazon jungle. In 2023, my life was a wreck. The pandemic had left me jobless and isolated. I was falling in a downward spiral that just kept getting quicker and quicker. I felt like I had fallen into a bottomless hole and I just kept falling. No idea how to slow down after I stopped the fall. All I knew was that more than anything, I wanted to get out of that dark pit and back into the sunlight. But I had run out of ideas. And then, almost as if it was fate, I started hearing people talking about these kind of wild stories. Stories about friends of theirs or people they knew who had gone down to the Amazon jungle and had participated in an ancient ceremony of some kind and drank some sort of magic potion, and then came back transformed, renewed, rejuvenated, full of vim and vigor. Now, I wasn't sure that I completely believed everything I was hearing in these stories, but my situation was getting desperate, and when your situation gets desperate enough, you sometimes wind up doing things that you normally wouldn't even consider. And so, I bought a plane ticket to Peru. A small boat took me upriver. In the rearview mirror, the last traces of civilization and society got smaller and smaller until they finally disappeared altogether. And at that moment, the air changed. The lighting changed. Even the silence was different. It was not empty, but alive. In the center of the village, there was a thatched roof structure called a maloka. That's where the ceremonies took place. It's where people go to be healed, where the veil between worlds is thinner than a zigzag. Sometimes you can see right through it. Now, there's no electricity in the village, so at night the maloka is pitch dark. You can't see your hand in front of your face, but you can hear the jungle really well. It's all you can hear is the hum of the insects, the croaking frogs. If you listen really carefully, you just might hear the jungle itself trying to tell you something. Now, the brew we drank was prepared from jungle vines and sacred leaves, plants that the tribe had been intimately involved with for thousands of years. During the ceremony, the shaman would sing songs called icaros. One day I asked him where the icaros had come from. Had they been written by his ancestors? He smiled and he said, he chuckled at the song. He told me that as a young man, he was trained to become a shaman. He went to go live in the jungle alone for several weeks. No shelter, no comfort, just the plants. He taught me how to brew the recipe for the sacred drink. He taught us to feel. Jungle gives each shaman different songs, but your soul already knows their meaning. First night, we all sat in a circle on the wooden floor of the maloka, and then one by one we would stand up and walk over to where the shaman was seated at the center of the circle. He would bless us, he would bless our cup of this sacred liquid, he would hand us a cup of potion, and he would smile, and it would taste like liquid death. Earth. It tasted like liquid earth. Bitter, thick, ancient. I drank it down in one gulp, and the lights went completely out. The world started spinning like a top. At first, the medicine came on slowly, gently shifting my perception, my senses. Then suddenly, all at once, like dynamite exploding in my skull. Waves of consciousness expanding on me faster than the speed of light. And when my senses did start to come back into focus, the first thing I saw was the shaman's songs floating through the air like shimmering ribbons of light, expressed in every color of the rainbow. And when somebody started laughing, The laughter exploded like a fireworks display on the 4th of July, filling the maloka with light and sound. And when I closed my eyes, I stepped into a world of luminous geometric shapes and forms, illuminated from within and twisting and turning and reshaping themselves. Somehow alive and conscious. I knew that they were observing me as much as I was observing them. And then, out of the darkened corners, figures started to approach me. Creatures I had never seen before. Some looked like animals, and some looked like spirits, and some looked like, I don't know what, nothing I've ever seen in this world. I didn't know what they were, but they sure knew me. They knew who I was and why I had come to the jungle. They knew what I was doing, trespassing in the world where they exist. And when they spoke to me, they didn't exactly speak. They transmitted their thoughts directly into my mind. They seemed to know everything. Not just everything about me, but I mean like everything. Kept telling me more and more, but I knew I wasn't going to remember it. It was just too much to know. And then she appeared. A green goddess with orange glowing eyes. She was tall and powerful, and she told me she'd been expecting me. She said she knew that I had entered her realm the moment that I drank the potion made from the vine of the souls. Every morning, we would line up outside the shaman's hut to receive our elixir of health, each recipe uniquely tailored. And after we had our elixir, we would walk over to the dining hall for breakfast. Breakfast was always eaten in silence. Not that there were any rules or anything against talking, but every single one of us, to a person, always felt like we needed a little bit of quiet time in the morning to untangle the visions from the night before. And there would be plenty of time for talking after breakfast. That's when we had our group discussions. They'd usually last about an hour or two. Now, I can't tell you what we said at the group discussions. Those conversations were confidential, and I will never break that trust. But I can tell you this. Everybody goes down to the Amazon for the wild visionary journeys that take place in the middle of the night in the maloka. But that isn't where the healing happens. The healing happens in those conversations in the afternoon, in their honesty, in their vulnerability, in the way that complete strangers suddenly feel like family. Sometimes it was almost as if the whole group was sharing a single conscious awareness. I've never felt closer to anyone. Afternoons were quiet and relaxing. Time spent in the hammock, reading, painting, writing. Sometimes we'd explore the jungle and visit nearby villages. Once in a while, the shaman would take us on a walk through the jungle and show us medicinal plants growing all around. Vines and leaves and barks and roots and flowers and berries. The jungle teaches the shaman, he'd say, and the shaman teaches us. Leaving the jungle was harder than I expected. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to lose that connection to the group, to the land, to that part of myself that I had rediscovered while I was there. And when I got back home, everything looked the same, but nothing felt the same. My outlook had changed. My relationship to myself had changed. The world felt more alive, more vibrant, more real. The Amazon didn't just heal me, it brought me back to life. Welcome back to the city, huh? If you think you might be interested in attending a retreat like the one we discussed in this video, I'll leave a link in the description below. Now, the one I went to is called the Temple of the Way of Light, but there are plenty of other places that are very reputable and a few that aren't reputable. So do your research, trust your intuition, and find one that's right for you. And if any of you have gone on one of these retreats somewhere and you'd like to recommend it or warn us against it, please leave a comment so that we can benefit from your knowledge. All right, folks, that's all. Thanks for being here, and until next time, stay furious.